Who is Jalon Walker? A versatile player, he offers values at multiple positions in the defense, like here, where he's lined at an edge rusher and he's going to take a quick, easy sweep around this tackle in order to make an impact on the play versus Cade Klubnik and Clemson. As you can see here, he quickly controls the arm of the tackle, not allowing the left hand of the tackle to get on his shoulder pads. And then the left hand of Jalon Walker is grabbing the hand of the tackle in order to have leverage on it, as he can quickly pulls it down, releases against it in order to get a wide open lane to the quarterback, and flushing him out will lead to a sack prior to the throwaway. Welcome back to the Franchise Tag Scouting Department. Today we are covering versatile defensive piece Jalon Walker out of Georgia. Playing both linebacker and edge, we'll start with his pros at each of these positions, then work to his cons, then get into some film breakdown before I conclude with my scouting report card, where I grade him in various areas and give my final thoughts on him as a prospect. Timestamps for all of these things will be in the description. Starting with his pros from his edge rusher tape, he has very effective speed rush, and thanks to his versatility, he truly is a wild card when he lines at the edge, as he's able to drop into coverage from that alignment just as easily as he can disrupt the passer. While in coverage, he matches up well against tight ends and running backs, and adds value as a quarterback spy, floating around the line of scrimmage with a quick trigger to pursue the quarterback as soon as he attempts to escape the pocket. He has also shown an ability to align from the interior of the defensive line and make an impact there as well, as he quickly targets the shoulder of the guard and can slip past them to get to the quarterback. When aligned as an off-ball linebacker, he has a good enough athleticism to be a great blitzer, using the same traits he uses to win as an edge from the linebacker position. This led to Georgia often aligning him as a linebacker but crowding him at the line of scrimmage, and using him as either that quarterback spy, a bluff blitzer, or an actual blitzer. This unpredictability is what gives opposing offenses issues when facing off against him, as you just don't know what he could do next. Getting into the cons of Jalon Walker, I will start with his lack of experience, as this past season was his first seeing a large snap count, and his first 2 years of college he combined for just 350 snaps. While it's not that big of a concern given what he showed this past season, it is noticeably less than other top prospects at edge and linebacker in this draft. My main issues with his game stem from his jack-of-all-trades nature. He truly is a master of none. Looking at this edge rusher tape, he wins one way and one way only, fast. If he cannot win with a quick speed move or a power move, the rep for him is essentially over, and he does not have many counters to continue to get after the quarterback once he's been stopped in his tracks. To add to that, he is undersized for an edge rusher, and tackles can easily have an advantage on him with their reach and control him for an entire snap. Now, with his linebacker alignment, while he can peel off and cover the flats well, his coverage over the middle of the field is muddy. He drifts towards the line of scrimmage often, which will open up passing lanes behind him for free. Another issue with his linebacker play is his run defense in general. He keeps his eyes in the backfield extra long, failing to quickly recognize run fakes, and that'll lead to him being out of phase on passing plays and late to run plays when they actually do hand the ball off. Alright, starting with the film breakdown for Jalon Walker, we have him right here aligned at edge, and he's going to be coming in. There is a tight end in this formation, and then the tackle here. He's going to quickly evade that tight end and then get into the backfield and disrupt Quinn Ewers and manage to make a play and force a sack. Here we have Jalon Walker coming in once again on that left side. Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle, and then the tight end who will fake to pass block and then go out into a route. Now with Jalon Walker, he's going to keep himself clean. Quick lateral move there to make sure that the tight end doesn't get any hands on, and then the tight end initiates his break outwards. But here we have Kelvin Banks. He's getting ready, trying to drop back into his pass set. And one thing that will impact it is this guard and edge block here is going to be pushing into the lane, into the route that Jalon Walker was wanting to take. And he's going to go ahead, he's going to just brace himself, stick his arm out, and get some space from that. And here's Kelvin Banks. You know, we have a very deep drop from Quinn Ewers here. Kelvin is not nearly as deep as this drop, so Quinn would need to then step up to kind of give his tackle some help. And I think that Jalon Walker was acutely aware of that when he sees Quinn Ewers here, top of the drop, and this kind of good leverage he would have at that angle. And so when they engage with him and Kelvin, yep, they're like, you know, he's forcing the step up from Quinn Ewers. And Kelvin Banks is very much, he's right on the cusp of really giving up a pressure here or being shoved into his quarterback. But Jalon Walker, he keeps his eyes on the quarterback, and he doesn't just continue with this momentum to swing around and kind of try to beat him on the outside shoulder, where he can actually impact the fact that Quinn Ewers is stepping up. There's a lane here that he would step up through, but he goes ahead and he cuts back to the other shoulder of Kelvin Banks, immediately disengages and gets after Quinn Ewers, which leads to the sack. Here we have Jalon Walker aligned here. He's going to go ahead and be at a blitz linebacker position here, but a pulling guard from here for this run play is going to completely take him out of it. And while he does get a nice consolation prize at the end here of flipping the guy, he doesn't actually make an impact. And here we have yet another play where he is aligned at linebacker, but is going to be a blitzer. And on this one, versus Alabama, he's going to be handled very well from the center and the guard. So there was a little bit of a double team, but then this guy went ahead and fell off the double team to pick up an additional blitzer. And we have 77 here, just full on out muscling, out powering Jalon Walker. Controls him with just one arm to move him exactly where he wants him to. Jalon Walker then has to disengage, try to chase after the quarterback, but it's Jalen Milroe. It's a little difficult to do. Getting into Jalon Walker's scouting report card, due to his hybrid nature, I am mixing some of the elements of edge and linebacker traits into one card here for Jalon Walker. Looking at his highs, he gets good grades in versatility and athleticism. Of course, he is that chess piece. You can move him wherever you want. He's a queen on the chessboard. Play him at the edge, at linebacker as a blitzer, a linebacker as a coverage linebacker. With that, there is quite a drop off when you get to that run defense and the coverage, as he's slow to recognize runs, which holds him back in both run defense and coverage, as he can be late to cover his zone, and he can also be late to the run game. Lastly, he has a thin pass rush bag, often relying on his athleticism, that immediate muscle, the immediate speed that he can bring to a player to make an impact quickly. And if he doesn't do that, he often gets stopped by the offensive line or just maneuvered at will by a bigger offensive lineman, better reach and bigger hands. But that concludes the Jalon Walker scouting report card. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to catch the rest of the scouting reports. And there is a playlist linked at the end of the video and probably up in the iCard right now. If you do want to check that out, to catch up on all of my opinions on every player I've graded so far during this draft process. I don't grade that many, but I do try to get very thorough thoughts in on those players. So give a look to those if you enjoyed this video. But with that, I will see y'all in the next one.